That went well. Let's try another one. Right, new car, watch this. Thank you. Welcome aboard and welcome to another video. Yes, it's been ages, I'm really sorry. Lots to talk about, lots of explanations and excuses, but it's, well, mid to late August, really awful day, and it's the only day I've got off. It's blowing a gale, but hopefully in this shelter bit I've got on my permission woodland, hopefully it'll be away from the wind, and yeah, the rain's quite threatening. So what I'm going to do is put up a tarp, my homemade tarp. I don't know if you watched that video, there's a link for it in the top corner there, and so I'll get that up, get my gear under shelter, and then have a little chat to you about what's going on. Well, I've got my tarp up. It's nothing pretty to look at. I got in a bit of a rush actually because it started raining. It's not going to rain hard, but it's going to be one of those annoying sort of drizzly nights. So I just thought I'd better put up a little bit of protection so at least I can sit out for a bit. Although, you know, it's, what time is it now? It's 6:30, and it's only kind of around the 21st of August, and so it should be a lot brighter than it is now. But as you can see, the clouds are thick and low and quite threatening to try and ruin an evening out, but I'm not going to let them. So what have we got today? First of all, yeah, I'll talk to you a bit later about the channel absence and that sort of thing, but I want to get everything in order first. Yeah, I do owe you some sort of an explanation, I do know that. But I've got loads of stuff to take a look at. Not going to be a review as such, but over the time that when I haven't been filming, people have been sometimes sending me stuff without even checking that I wanted it, but some really good bits and bobs. I've got a tent to try out from OneTigris and also a sleeping bag that they've given me. I've also got a brilliant looking little power pack, which you can just see there charging my GoPro. I didn't actually ask for them to be sent, they just sort of arrived in the months that I haven't been filming. It's been a bit embarrassing because I haven't wanted to return them. I've also got a tiny little pump to inflate my sleeping mat. We'll take a look at that. And also I've been given a discount code which will be in the description below. If there's anything else I can think of, I'll just wing it. It's been such an absence that I'm kind of out of practice about planning these things, but sometimes the ones that hi motorbike, the ones that aren't planned turns out to be some of the better ones. Right, let's get this tent up. So the new tent I've got is the OneTigris Mountain Ridge. Looks pretty big here, at about, I don't know, a foot, 30 centimetres long by about 6 inches, 15 centimetres wide, but I've actually not got it puffed down at all. I'm really interested in this tent because I've always wanted the Lanshan 2. See a lot of people using it on long distance treks. It's very, very lightweight, and it's also a trekking pole tent, and I certainly take trekking poles every time I go on a decent hike. It's the one that everyone seems to use. Hazy's got it and so on, but I was just wondering if there was a contender that might be a little bit cheaper, because they're so popular now, the Lanshan 2, it is slowly rising in price. And just out of the blue, OneTigris got in touch with me and said, do you want to give this tent a try? And they didn't say it's a contender for the OneTigris, but sorry, for the Lanshan 2, but I thought it just looked about the same sort of spec, in some ways better spec than the Lanshan 2, and I thought I'd give it a go. The one thing about this tent is it is 300 grams heavier than the Lanshan 2, which in some people's minds makes an awful lot of difference. In mine, doesn't, but the water retarding qualities I think are higher in this because it's a closer weave nylon. So let's get it out, let's take a look at it and yeah, see what we think. So you just peg out the four corners loosely, which also incorporate the bathtub, so you can tighten up the bathtub and the tent itself with these ties here. I think this could be an amazing tent. That took me, first time, less than 5 minutes. And it's a beautiful looking tent. I'll show you the outside first. Let's take a look inside. You've got a really good vestibule on each side and a cracking space inside. I'll put my bedding in and then we'll take a look at the inside, which brings me neatly onto this. Hopefully that will be in focus. It's the 1.2 ounce Flextail TinyPump. It's, look at that, there's my thumb and there's the pump. No light with it, which is one little drawback a lot of people are saying, but quite frankly I always have a head torch with me when I'm camping. I'm not too bothered about having a lantern, and for size and portability, gosh, what about this? I only use these thermarest style mats, so I just keep one adapter. It's got inflate and deflate. Inflate also useful for fanning a fire if you want to get a fire going. So that's good instead of one of those little, what they call bellows. And I just keep that on there. But with it, you do get all the adapters that you could want for any of the sort of camping mats. I don't think it would do a pack raft, but there you go. It's got a weird charging mechanism. You get USB-C with it, and you actually take the battery out, and the battery has a USB-C socket, and you charge it directly into the battery and then reinstall the battery. Let's see if this works with my Thermarest Neo. I don't know what it's called, but it's the summer yellow one. Here we go. Out, it's the Thermarest Neo Air X-Lite. It's got one of these style unscrew valves, and all you do is pop that on there with it unscrewed, a couple of presses, and you can just leave it. There you go, fully pumped up. Just a little twist to stop it pumping in any more air, and then you can just turn it off. Again, OneTigris, thank you. Boom! Sleeping bag included with the tent. Not too sure about this. I'm sure it'll keep me warm, but I wouldn't want to go on long distance hikes with this because it is huge, and that is definitely sort of scrunched down as far as I want to scrunch a sleeping bag. I think it's synthetic. I don't actually know the model because this has never been opened. Let's have a look. No label, but I think if you're car camping or something like that, it's going to be very good. But as I say, it's huge, but it's definitely going to be warm. It's synthetic, I know that, because if it was down it would fold a lot smaller, but it's going to look after me tonight. It's certainly going to be a cosy sleeping bag. I'm not looking forward to getting it back in the stuff sack, but I can never understand why companies don't make the bags so much bigger than they need to be. Then you can just scrunch them down with the webbing straps. But there's something about trying to pile them in. But, oof. How about that? That looks extremely cosy. It's got a sort of storm cuff on it there. And yeah, it is a mummy sleeping bag, but I do prefer a quilt usually in the summer. But as far as mummies go, I think that's a lot wider at the foot end than normal ones. So yeah, should be pretty good. OneTigris sleeping bag. Folks, will you just have a look in here? There is so much room. I mean, I've got that sleeping bag in the middle, but you could push it over. There you go. And there is room if you're friendly for two, but for a single person trekking tent, I think this is pretty good. You can get all your gear in. You can get cooking down in each vestibule. There's one on the other side, you see. As I say, store your rucksack, keep everything dry, and that is a great tent, I think. So I've just added a little bit of light there because it's already getting a bit dark for the camera. But I've got my tent up, got my tarp up, and I'm just going to move all my stuff to underneath the tarp now to keep it dry and think about getting a bit of cooking on. I'm using this lovely little system that I got sent, which is a sort of mini table with a hole, so you can integrate the gas canister and the stove, with the gas canister being the sort of prop for the right hand side, and it's got its own prop here on the left, and so it forms a really nice stable surface so that you can maybe do a little bit of prep here while something's cooking. You'd have to be careful, but you maybe just put the pan to the side whilst you cook something else. I think it's a lovely little neat design. Comes in this little pouch here, and I'm also using this fire maple boiling pot. It's got graduations on the inside, a nice lid, so you can strain pasta, rice if you want to, but it's got a heat exchanger on it as well here on the bottom, and so that you neatly just go onto the, there you go there, yeah, just a little bit of adjustment onto the pot supports of the stove, and that makes a really stable surface. Time for a coffee. I love that, steady as a rock. I think you've seen me use these before, but these are coffee brewers single cup sachets. You take the top, undo the top there, fill it up. You can have less strong, medium or mild depending on how much water you put in. Fill it up, let it just percolate itself for how long? A couple of minutes, there you go. And then you take this spout off and pour it out, and the good thing is you can wash it out, put in your favourite brew and use it many times, so it's pretty eco-friendly. Bit of a location change, you'll have to excuse the artistic license because I've been taking a thumbnail for this wonderful company, Wild Camping International, that always looked after me with sending me little bits of kit through. Never asked for any formal reviews or anything like that. I just think they're really good people, and few and far between companies like that these days. So there we go, that's my coffee brewer, medium strength coffee, which should get me through the evening, with my cooking extravaganza, which I'm a little bit worried about. Cheers. Well, that's good. Right then, quick couple of minutes, what's been happening. it's funny, this YouTube thing. It started with me I got in just before COVID when I started making videos, and the thing about COVID was, yes, it was absolutely horrendous, but from a point of view of some aspects, I couldn't work, and so what it revealed to me all that time off was how many hobbies I liked doing, and that I had a little bit of talent for some little bits like making knives, doing the leather work, woodwork and that sort of thing. And I made a ton of videos. I got this real spike and climb in subscribers, and I thought the sky's the limit, and I lulled myself into this false sense of security, which was somewhat naive, because always at the end of the line I was going to go back to work. And when I did go back to work, suddenly I couldn't start making videos all the time. I couldn't put my hand to as much leatherwork, woodwork, just general hobbies that I'd been really enjoying during the time I had off work. And so, as I say, I was a little bit naive, thinking that I could keep juggling my life like I did. And when I went back to work, it just didn't come to a grinding halt, but you've noticed everything has slowed up somewhat. Another thing that's happened at work, which is a good thing, is that I got a promotion, and what came with that, it meant that I had to go to work full time again. I had been on a 75% contract, which meant I got a solid week off every month, as well as my sort of days off between little work schedules. And I now am full time until January. It's August now, so you just have to bear with me. I really want to keep this channel going. It's just topped for 12,000, I think yesterday, which is a little bit of a coincidence, because it was hovering at about 1180 for months and months and months, and then somehow I just got this little 20 spike. Maybe one of the videos got featured, I don't know. And so I've got this workshop that's just, it's just ground to a halt. It's lovely. I've got all my grinding equipment, all my tools. They're just sitting there unused, and I'm, half of me said, shall I just sell up? I lulled myself into a false sense of security. Another side says, no, just, plug away. If you've got sort of loyal followers on YouTube, they'll wait. I do know people have been saying, where the hell are you? Which I don't blame. You just got to bear with me. My intent is to up the content, not to get subscribers. It's just I enjoy doing it. I enjoy bringing you on these adventures, and when I get the feedback through the comment section, it really just makes me feel as though I've done a good job for you guys that watch. So I'll keep doing that, because I like to provide something that gives you a bit of entertainment. Making a video takes quite a lot of work. I've spent sort of 2 hours doing something that should have taken me 20 minutes, but all for the love of YouTube. So that's the way it's going to be. I'll get out videos when I can. They're not going to be as regular as they used to be, but I don't know what happened there. My battery ran down. Where are we on the battery? Oh, not too bad. I think you can only film for so long. Where on earth was I? I don't know where that cut off, and I'm not bothered, but you're going to get more. It's not going to be anything like it was in the good old days of sort of 2020, really 2021. But I'm going to try my best and make some content. I've got loads of things I want to make as well, creations, you name it. But that's the way it is, and yeah, stick with it, and I hope you enjoy the videos. Right, cooking time. Well, don't want to be too adventurous, so I've just got one of the old favourites tonight, which is Spam, Madras and Jamaican style grains and pulses. Obviously you all know that old favourite, but I'm a bit of a traditionalist, so yeah, I'll have to go for the boring one tonight, I'm afraid. Good, good, good. And on we go. Just want this to simmer really slowly, so there you go. It's turned into a really still night actually. I think it's quite windy out there, but a nice hollow here and still as anything, which is great. Now, apart from the fact that I'm going to let you know how the tent fares, this is the last review for now, but I got sent this by a company called Green. It's the most amazing little power pack, and the reason I like it is all the features you get on the LED display. When you're charging things, it sort of shows how things are going, progressing with each individual thing you've got plugged in. There's a cutaway now to the unboxing. It comes in a neat little box. You get an accessories kit with it, which is a little sort of felt pouch. Also you get a USB-C charging. It's 130 watts to 20,000 milliamp hours power bank, and it's got double USB and a USB-A as well, and so I really like it. It's got rubberized feet on here so you can have it flat, and I've been charging up my GoPro with it during this camp so far. I've charged up one of the batteries for my camera, and I'm sitting there at, I don't know how well that picks it up, but I'm sitting at 97%, so it really does pack a punch. So I've got a discount in the description for this as well. It's usually that there's a world sort of leader in power banks whose name rhymes with a very rude word, but please give these guys a try. I think pound for pound it really is good value, and that's the end of the reviews. It's not a plug, I just say I really like it, and you just look at it. Much nicer than those dull all black versions with no real indication of how much power you've got. Jamaican style grains and pulses. I'm not going to put the whole lot in because oh my god. Anyway, not breaking tradition, normal sort of meal really. Right, let's have a little bit of oomph. Look at that, that's how good this table is.
Quack, quack, oops.
Time for dessert. I've got some water about to come to the boil, and there's a syrup sponge. One thing I didn't expect tonight were midges, and because it was due to be really windy, but obviously because I've found this little nook with no wind, that's where they're deciding to gather. Whoa. So after this I don't think it'll be long till I'm in the tent. Anyway, custard. Little heat through. On goes my syrup sponge. I love that. Syrup sponge and custard. Traditional main, traditional dessert. I really wish I could just harness this feeling I've got now of utter serenity and peace and happiness. I'm not saying I don't have a serene, peaceful, happy life, I do, but it's hectic, it's full on. Young kids, you know, it's GCSE results day tomorrow. I've got a daughter who's obsessed with ponies, which is brilliant, expensive, and it's just a busy full-time job, and you've just got to seize these moments, and I'm loving this, you know. I'm on my own, I love my own company, and you know, I do love being with my family, but I think, you know, just this sort of thing is a perfect recharge. And I hope I can just harness this feeling now that I've got to when I'm thinking about going out and thinking about, you know, maybe cancelling for ridiculous reasons. So probably I should just watch this video after every so often and remind myself. The tent, I'll give you a little chat from inside the tent. The big deciding point between that and the Lanshan Pro 2 is going to be the condensation issues. It's going to be a cool evening, so with the warmth inside the tent it should put it to the test. So have a look from inside the tent, just show you the room that I've got, and then in the morning we'll see how the condensation fares with the Lanshan 2. Ooh, moth. Right, speak soon. Obviously I'm in the tent now. Well, the midges did get pretty unbearable, and I'm just amazed by the size for a trekking pole tent. It's easy to people. I just like being on my own in a tent. Can't bear the thought of anyone else snoring next to me or shuffling around. Nevertheless, it's got loads and loads of room. I'm not against one of the edges now. There's pockets to store stuff. I've got my rucksack in here, got all my camera gear that I like to bring inside rather than have outside, even though it's warm, just in case of a shower, and got my boots, and just tons and tons of room. So as I say, it's just got to pass the condensation test now, which is quite a biggie for me really. I don't want to be, if I go on a longish hike, I don't want to be continually sort of sponging the tent down after each use and obviously packing it away sodden wet even on a dry night. So let's see how it goes. Really nice comfy sleeping bag from OneTigris. All I've got to say. Thanks very much, and I'll speak to you in the morning. Good night.
Well, there's a sight for sore eyes for you. Sorry about that. Good morning. Great night. Weather-wise, not a great night. It was very, very windy, and we had lots of rain, which is a good test for the tent. And dry as a bone, no condensation at all. Got some water droplets on the outside, and yeah, 100% and 2 thumbs up for this tent. And I will not be getting a Lanshan 2 because this is perfect. It's got massive headroom, loads of room, and that's enough on the tent. Breakfast time. Let's give breakfast a try, and what I've got is, I'm going to put a coffee on obviously, but we have the farmer's shop, haggis slices, handmade in 500-year-old family recipe. We have free from etc. And look at that little Scottish and Union flag, so wife would be happy with that. And Scotch beef. No, I always thought you said Scottish, because if I ever call my wife Scotch, she understandably hits the roof. You never know. Right, haggis. Oh, haggis and haggis. Haggis sandwiches. Hopefully they've got a bit of natural oil in them. Sorry, that's it's GCSE results day today for my son Rory, and obviously thousands of other kids, so good luck. By the time you've seen this video, you'd have had the results, obviously. Got our fingers crossed. It's a difficult day for obviously Rory, our son, and for us. Main thing is it's done. What will be will be. But I've got to get back. We've got to get in that car and open those brown envelopes with the brown underwear. Thank you very much for joining me. I know it's been disjointed. I've not been very well prepared. It's just that I'm out of practice. It's been great fun though, really good fun. I've loved that tent. So if you're looking to get something that's certainly 50 quid cheaper, and I reckon far superior to the Lanshan 2, look at that. OneTigris mountain ridge tent. Absolutely superb, and the main thing is there was zero condensation this morning. Just remains for me to say thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The likes are almost more important than the subscriptions. I do love comments though, and I definitely read everyone and I respond to most. So thanks very much, and I look forward to seeing you again.